Hello and welcome to the channel. Alright, we're covering another design here. This one is fairly unique. We're using Graviton Engines in this, which the two key modules you'd have to use for this design is the Graviton Engine and the Cloaking Mesh. Without those, you could not do this design as it currently is. The gist of the design is, since the Graviton engines don't require external access points to operate, and if you operate just with Graviton engines, you don't even need to turn. Your ship will just suddenly start moving the direction you want it to move. It will, of course, correct its turn as well, but it doesn't need to turn to move in any direction. It just moves. And they are fairly powerful, as you can see with these engines. We're actually up to 1.89 U a second, which is fairly significant for a capital ship of this size. Most of our capital ships run close to 2.5. That's counting the heavy carrier default and whatnot. Alright, of course the shields definitely help as well. We've done those in multiple sections. As we've covered in our previous videos, we've been sectioning off each of these subtypes to make them completely separate from each other so damage doesn't just bleed through the entire subsystem. Because, of course, if you take damage and start hitting right here, this entire ring is going to start taking damage even though it's only hitting right here. And that's going to eventually break that subsystem. So we do have some disadvantage in these three rings here, where they go all the way around. But at the same time, we have sectioned off portions as well that are designed just to mitigate that effect. Alright, so the engines, of course, are sectioned off, as you can see, for that exact reason. Our power is split up as well, and basically the entire design of this ship is for that 6.67K support fleet. That support fleet is massive. It is just insanely powerful, and with proper design support ships, I think my two fleets for this are up to about 60 million strength. One of them was fairly close to 70 million strength, just because of the ships that were put into it were later model designs rather than the other one, which picked up the early model designs. And the ship has no offensive capabilities itself, and all it does is it just works as a mothership, as the name implies, for those craft. Now, of course, without the cloaking mesh and the Graviton engines, you have to have some exposure for the engines that you'll put in, and of course, instead of cloaking mesh, since you wouldn't have it, you would want to put another layer of armor on there and just make it heavier and harder to kill. The health is decent on it. It's fairly effective at taking damage. Of course, capital ships or fleets of ships that are designed to kill capital ships would probably cut through this fairly easy. Just because if you concentrate fire and it doesn't have, say, forward-facing armor, and you're hitting it from the front, you're just going to chew through those one or two layers that you have. But the carrier design is fairly solid, and it's, like I said, all revolves around your design for your support fleet. So this is definitely an interesting take on it. It's definitely effective. You'll likely have a higher DPS fleet with the carrier, just because of the larger number of support ships you can have, and if you have properly designed support ships, it will make all the difference. Alright, I hope that was helpful and inspirational in some ways, and of course, as always, have a good day.